Another plastic project. I'm going to try to hold this so it doesn't reflect the lights, but this was a $5 container of spinach. And I think we're going to get some eyeglass holders out of this. Stay with me. These are the eyeglass cases that I've made this week. And this one is just a little cutesy one made from 2-layered plastic and a few little embellishments so you could see through it, maybe for sunglasses. This is the one we're going to make today though, because this one is made with an old t-shirt, and so the fabric goes all the way down so your good glasses don't get scratched. In order to make the honeycomb, I stenciled this on the fabric, and then I applied the little bumblebees. So instead of stenciling on the fabric today, we're going to be stamping, but we'll be following the same procedure I used to make this one. Eyeglass cases for your reading glasses, those little skinny glasses coming up. This is what you'll need. You'll need your fabric Mod Podge, some stamps if you care to stamp it, stickies, ribbon, fabric, and of course, your plastic. First step is to cut this in half this way. Be very careful. I think I can possibly get 2 eyeglass holders, 2 eyeglass case holders, and well, I might have been able to get a little purse out of it, but I cut past that point. Anyway, I'm cutting this way because the eyeglass folder, I'm going to fold it this way. So we'll see where it goes. All right, now that I've got this cut, I'm going to cut right down here so we can kind of free this up. And since this bend is already here, it might, okay, it should work. It should work pretty well because we've got a bend we can use for up here later if that works. But for now, we're concentrating on little reading glasses and they're pretty narrow. So I think this area right in here might be where we work. We're going to cut around the top and get rid of these edges up here. And this sometimes fights back when you try to cut it. But keep hanging in there, we'll win. There we go. I gotta be careful. Every once in a while, it'll give you a little cut. It's best to come in from this end and finish our cut. Might have to bring out the matte knife to finish it up. Nope, we're good. Now, basically, we have a workable piece of plastic. Okay, now this is so hard to see, but this, just in case you can't see it, this is my piece of plastic that I've cut out. And now I've got it taped down because I want to cut straight across one edge. Straight across one edge. I'm going to put that straight edge right up against the hemline of this piece of fabric, this piece of t-shirt fabric. And I'm going to use this as a kind of a pattern, but it won't be a real tight pattern simply because the t-shirt material will stretch and the Mod Podge make it even stretchier. So I'm just going to kind of cut out around here. Just going to draw a little line around here, and then I'm going to cut it out and I'm going to stamp it. So when I get it cut out, we'll do our stamping and go from there. Okay, I'm not a big stamper, but what I want to do with this, I want to make it kind of a letter or writer theme. So I have stamps that have all this writing on them. Sorry for shaking the camera. So we're just going to see how this goes. I'm just going to stamp all over. And that was a miserable failure. Let's see if we can... That's better. Okay, I'm just going to stamp this all over. And then I'll go back with another stamp I have. Getting a little bit better. Okay, I'm going to Mod Podge this up on the inside, following the, I don't want to get it too thick, but enough that it will allow the fabric to adhere. Squeaky sound, squeaky sound. Okay, don't want to get it too thick because you don't want it to bleed through the fabric and cause little spots on the inside. Okay, now, as you can see, it's on the inside and we've got that natural curve working for us. So now, the trick is to apply the plastic to the fabric we just did. Okay, putting it down this way, and now I'm going to flip it over and press it down in the middle. Smooth it down, because this will be the inside of our glass. Not too bad, not too bad. Okay, except for the stuff coming off my fingers. Anyway, all right, we're going to set this aside, let it dry for a couple hours, and then we'll be back. So now it's dry enough. It's been about 2.5 hours, and it is dry enough, and there aren't any scratchy spots on the inside. And I should have put it up a little higher because I didn't really want to get this stitch in there, but since it's in there, we'll live with it. Now at this point, I'm going to do a little bit more embellishing because I want this to kind of have the feeling of a letter being written. So I'm going to put some of these little stamps on there, and they are pretty thin, but I'm just going to kind of put them all over the place, just so it kind of looks like a letter. Well, not like a letter, but gives the impression of a letter that's being posted. Just to kind of give it some, I don't know, just some cuteness. Cuteness is good if you can get it. So we're going to see if we can get some cuteness going on. If the stamps will come off. Okay, there we go. All right, so I'm just going to continue to put these stamps on here. I have had them forever and a day, and I just kind of was hoarding them because, well, they're just so cute, and I didn't want to use them all up. But there comes a time, there just comes a time when you have to say, yep, I'm going to use these now, and then use them. And they're so pretty. I love stamps. Anyway, when I was little, my mother had this grand plan that I was going to be a, what do you call them? A philatelist. And she got me this stamp book, and she sat me down, and she thought she was going to get me started on being a philatelist or whatever. And you know what? When you're 7, it just doesn't quite work very well. And so now I'm kind of sorry, because maybe I would have had some, you know, some really nice stamps. Okay, so I've got these on there. And like I said, they're pretty thin, and they are, you know, self-sticking. So now that we've got that there, I think it looks kind of cute once we trim it up. We're going to carefully and gently fold this, and later I might put some Mod Podge over this, some of the, maybe not the fabric Mod Podge, but maybe some of the shiny Mod Podge. So I am going to try to begin to shape this for the glasses that it's for. Let me go get them. Okay, if we do it for these little skinny reading glasses, that's probably our best bet. So, all right. Yep, they'll go in there and they'll be just fine. So we want this to be long enough, but not too long. So I guess we'll trim it right about here. So I'm going to take some clips, and I'm going to hold this together, and then after it's clipped, I'm going to see if I can't cut it. Remember, we're working with the natural fold in this that was in this container. So there we go. And push it down a little bit. And I think right here is where I'm going to trim it a little bit. Not all the way. It's going to probably take a couple of trims, but oh, the scissors have said, I will not cut through this. I will not, oops, okay, all right. I hear you. All right, we're going through. Okay. We are not happy, but we're going through. We'll just take this very slowly. All the way down. What I'm doing is just cutting off a little excess. Okay. All right, if you can see, this is where the plastic ends. And this is our curve over here. Huh. I wonder if I could make this a little bit bigger for my other glasses. Let's see. Now, these are some old, retired, worn out, dead glasses. Nah, won't work. So we'll have to leave it for the little cuties. All right. So I'm going to now trim in a little more, and I'm going to trim along this line. Yeah, I think, yeah, that'll work. That will work. Okay. I'm going to trim right along this line. Please cut, please cut. Okay. There we go. And I'm wanting to cut it as straight as possible. Okay. All right. It's pretty straight. Not perfectly straight, but we'll get there. We're going to hold it. And I'm going to trim the bottom a little lower than our actual trim will be. Okay. So we're going to hold it and look at it. And clip it. Okay, and now is the part. I don't want to crease it, so I'm not going to crease really hard with it because we don't want to run the risk of cracking our plastic. Actually, with the Mod Podge in it, it's pretty safe that it won't crack anyway. But okay, this is not straight. Let's just see if we can straighten this out a little bit, because we want it to be as straight as we can make it. There we go. Okay, I'm going to tape this down. Actually, I've got it laid out right here on a straight line. I'm going to tape this down below where I'm going to trim it, but just so it won't waggle around. Okay, and since these little glasses are pretty small, but I really, you know what, I might want to put other glasses in there too. So let's go with right here. Let me make a line right here. I'm going to use this to make my line. Probably isn't the best thing, but it's what we've got right now. So I'm going to make a line right here. Are you making a line? Are you making a line? Please make a line. Yeah, bless your heart. Okay. All right. So it made a line. And what we want to do is we want a curve right here for our glasses. So we might have to move one of our clips a little bit and still hang on to holding things together here. And let's see if we can't, this might make a nice curve. It's not too shocking or too strong. Okay, there we go. All right, that'll be our curve. And all we have to do now is try not to rub it off. Pick it up. I guess we can still untape this. Let's untape this. Well, let's retape it. And cut our bottom. We're going to cut it just a little bit under here. And around we go. Around. Okay. Our curve is just fine. And I think our little glasses will fit in here just fine. So, I like the stamps. I think they give it just kind of a, I don't know, a little something extra. And extra is always nice. So, now the next part of this project will be a little bit harder for some and a little bit easier for others. Let's see. At this point, we're going to punch holes in it because we're going to sew it. So we'll have to figure out about how deep we want to go. I think I usually do about 1/4 of an inch in. And then the question is, well, how far apart should they be? Now, I always leave a little opening here because I don't want to just crease this and encourage cracking. So I am going to go up about 1/4 of an inch, and then I will need a little marker so I'll know exactly where to punch my holes. I'm going to go get something that will help with this, and I'll be right back. Now, as a rule, I tend to eyeball this, but if you're not as, if you don't feel comfortable doing that, just on a board or a piece of graph paper or something, lay some lightweight tape, like painter's tape, and then go up about, how far up about we go? about 1/4 of an inch, or a little more than 1/4 of an inch. And make your marks right there. Come on, little pen. That is not nice. Every time you try to, you know what? Good old reliable pencil might do it. Okay, so every 1/4 of an inch, make a mark all the way down your tape in a nice straight line, and use that as your guide for putting the holes in, because we're going to have to sew this. Is that one on a kind of look? No, this is definitely off. This one, okay, this is one. Okay, I'm going to try to speed through this. Here, and we're going to stop right there. Okay, so it's laid out, and I'm going to stop right there, and then I'm going to turn this so we can make our holes in the bottom. So this is a pretty simple task. We're just going to take our awl or anything you have that will give you a nice sharp edge. Whoops, wrong direction. Okay, and we're going to stick it all the way through. Wait, first let's make sure, yeah. Stick it through, and I'm going to do a couple of these, and then I'll finish them and come back. Just so you can see, it has to go all the way through, and I put this book here just so it doesn't damage anything. There we go. Okay, so you can see how I've got, when I'm finished, I will come back. Okay, as you can see, I've got our holes all the way down here. I'm still going to do these up here, but I've got our holes all the way down here. And I wanted you to see that now that I've made this one, I'm going to pick up the tape carefully, and I'm just going to eyeball, let me see, this one is right here, this one around here, right here, and then I'm going to turn it and put the tape this way. I'll match up this hole to this hole, and then this way, and this way I can finish. Make sure, yeah, that one's right there. Okay, so this way I will keep the holes and the sewing even. So we just keep on to, let's see. Like I said, I don't want to get all the way to the end. Well, maybe we'll stop right about here. Okay? All right. So I will move our clips down, and I will finish. Pull this up. I will finish our holes, and then we'll get back and start to sew. All right, we've got our holes punched. So at this point, I'm going to take an embroidery needle, with a big fat eye. And this is 1/8 inch with ribbon, and it's about 5 times the length of the eyeglass case. And now I'm just going to sew, and I'm going to leave a nice long tail at the end, but I'm going to start down here. Let me see. Yeah, I think I do start this way. And I might have to widen these holes up a little bit. Yeah. Yep, I will have to widen the holes up a little bit. That's just a matter of taking the awl and pulling through. Yeah, because this baby does not want to go through. Okay, I'm going to widen these up a bit, and then we shall sew. Okay, as you can probably see, I've had to get these pretty big in order for the this big old huge needle to go through. But once you get the holes big enough, and you have to be careful because you don't want to crack your plastic, you're going to go over. Anybody who's ever been to camp or done anything like this at school or whatever, you're just basically sewing this through. And sometimes the challenge is keeping your thread from twisting, and that can be an annoyance, like it just did there. So try to keep your thread from twisting. Twist it around. Then pull it through. And it might be twisted a little bit, but it'll untwist. Okay. And pull it out. Try to make it as straight as possible. Then come back over and through. And you're just going to do this all the way around. It's kind of relaxing, except when it twists on itself. But I'm going to do this all the way around. And then we'll come back when we've got it all done. And untwist it. I'm going to try to keep them as straight as you can. Okay. After I get them all done, I'll be right back. Okay. I've got it all stitched. And I've taken the tail, this little tail that I left on the end, and I stuck it right back through the other stitches. And I'm kind of working it through here so that it's not quite so visible, because eventually I'm going to seal it with Mod Podge. But anyway, I'm going to work it through here. What I did was I just pulled this right through these bottom stitches. And I'm going to do the same thing up here. I'm going to take this long stitch. Eventually, of course, I will cut it off at a certain length. But I'm going to take this stitch that came out here, and I'm going to go back through here just to kind of lock it off. Okay, back through here. There we go. Come on. Okay, back through there, tighten it up, and then I'm going to drive this all the way down through here, down through at least, oops, dropped it, down through at least 5-6 stitches. Where's the needle? Okay, there we go. I'm going to pull it through here. It's a tight pull sometimes. Come. It's bunched up. There we go. All right. And I'm going to work it out towards the end, towards the middle. Yeah, as you can see, we got a few twisties in there. Okay. All right. Lock it in this way. And I think it's about long enough. Actually, it could go down a few more stitches. But just for our point right now, it could go all the way down. But we're going to snip it here. And we'll snip it even closer. And we'll snip this one even closer once the Mod Podge gets on it and it hardens. Now, up here is the mistake I made. I didn't put it up close enough to this line. I should have put it here. And instead I put it up here, which gave me these ugly stitches. And I am not happy with these stitches. So what I'm going to do is move this up and just fold it down and glue it. I'm going to fold this down. I'm going to fold it down to meet the top of the plastic. And I'm going to glue it. And then I will put a little button here. Now to glue it, I'm going to use, I guess I'll try this clear tacky glue. And then I'm going to stitch on a button. This one, I don't know, that doesn't look too bad. I'll stitch on this button. Let's see if I like that one. Or, let me see. Or maybe this button. Anyway, I'll decide which button. And after I get this glued and buttoned, be right back. So these are the two eyeglass cases that we got out of our plastic box. And we used two different old t-shirts for the inside. And basically, it's a good way to reuse this plastic. Excuse me. Oh, what's that? Stuck to me. Now this one, as I said, I did with stenciling. But they hold the glasses and they do protect them. These are for your skinnier little glasses. And you just make your pattern according to the size of the glasses you're going to use. This one, still a little wet, but will fit a little larger pair. And you can just, I don't want to, well, it's wet, but, so these will fit this one. And so that's how some of that plastic can come back to life and be reused. So I hope you'll give it a try. It's really a fun project, and it will help you get rid of old t-shirts as well as reuse plastic. Hope you'll come back and craft with me again. Don't forget to subscribe, and if you liked it, give it a like. Thank you.